the way there are these little sort of counter melodies or kind of responses from within the orchestra. The woodwinds and horn have a special part. Of course, the harp and glockenspiel and triangle are all really special. One of the things that Glazunov does that many other earlier composers had done too was to save trumpets and trombones for being featured later on in the piece. Of course, trumpets play throughout the concerto, but they're really not featured until that moment where they herald the finale. And trombones are actually literally casted until the finale later on in the piece. And so I think that's wise to sort of add a little extra power and strength to the ending. And that example goes all the way back to Beethoven's Fifth, where he saved the entrance of the trombones, contrabassoon, and piccolo for the finale of that symphony. The harp adds a warmth and a lushness to it, especially in the second movement, but really throughout. The glockenspiel and triangle, of course, add sparkle and keep the listener's ears sort of peaked. The glockenspiel does have a really wonderful part, and it's probably used more than you would expect for the year this was written. The triangle was certainly used quite a bit by earlier composers, most notably in Liszt Piano Concerto No. 1, which I mentioned earlier. Because that, like this Violin Concerto, is like a concerto where all the movements kind of blend together, and it's all about 20 minutes long, and it has this sort of organic unity. So I think that there's maybe a little bit of a nod, an homage to Liszt by having some of that triangle sparkle in this piece. That triangle was really overused almost in the Liszt Piano Concerto.